Hello, my badass boys and badass babes. It's your favorite bad girl, the Black Hills, Virgo, the Vixen. Before we start tonight's delightful little life lesson, make sure you hit your likes and subscribe buttons down below. Okay, first of all, I've got to tell you something. I didn't do anything illegal, okay? What do I mean by that? Technically, I did not break any laws. I just want to get that out of the way so there is no misjudgment on that part. Okay, here's what happened and why I'm kind of in trouble with the diocese again. Okay, first of all, I didn't do anything illegal, so just keep that in mind as I tell you about tonight's little life lesson. First off, a couple weeks ago, I got called in by the bishop. Apparently, I may have done something wrong there. He blows up my phone, I ignore it. He blows up my phone again, I ignore it. Then he sends two Jesuit priests who look like they should be New York City strip club bouncers to my door to escort me to his office. And God knows I tried to seduce them, but those two were not having it. It's like, good God, you had your opportunity. Just saying, you blew it, you two. Anyway, so I'm put in my little normal chair and I'm sat down because the bishop wants to remind me I cannot send clergy members yearly subscriptions to a certain porn service. And I go, why not? You need it. Lighten up. God knows it couldn't hurt you. Okay, that was not the thing to say to him. Okay, he ripped into me about morality and value and blah, blah, blah. He never once said he was canceling or returning the subscription. Just keep that in mind. So he decided I'm going to do a penance of working the suicide hotline for 3 shifts. And I go, whoa, wait a minute, time out. Don't I have some credibility, some credit in the bank already from this past year? I've been behaving for the most part. He goes, that's true. Do you really want to use your credit on this one? And I'm thinking, a good point. Okay, suicide hotline prevention it is. And I got to tell you, I'm really nervous because suicide is one of those very serious topics. A person's trying to reach out for help. They're trying to reach out for answers. They just want someone to listen, to talk to them. The vixen is not exactly the person you want. So I'm very nervous about doing this. But they assured me, just follow the script, at the hotline, and I'll be fine. So a miracle actually did happen, okay? First of all, I did my first shift, and I was really nervous at first, but after I was done, I was thinking to myself, wow, this is an amazing thing, okay? I actually communicated with people, I connected with them, I helped them through a tough moment in their world, and for the moment, I made things better, and that actually felt good to actually, give back to the community in a non-sexual way. I'll let you figure that one out. All right, so I finished my next 2 nights, doing the suicide hotline. And I got to tell you something, I felt great. I was helping people out. I was listening to their problems. I wasn't doing it by laying on my back. And I'll tell you what, it felt great. So here's what happened. A week later, the bishop calls me to his office. I thought, okay, great. What have I done? And and this shocked me. This actually threw me for a loop. He said, thank you. Thank you for what you did. And we had, a little glass of brandy. It's like, hey, maybe that subscription to that porn service was actually worth it. Boy, was I wrong. It was a setup. I should have seen it coming. I should have seen it coming with the alcohol and him smiling because he pulls out a file folder this damn thick. Now, for the record, I want you to keep something in mind. I did not do anything illegal. The people who I talked to, they're the ones who did something illegal, okay? Not me. I'm getting in trouble for it. And I'll give you 3 cases out of the, let's just say there was a total of 7 cases that, where the people I talked to, they did something where possibly illegal or at least highly immoral. Okay, the first one is Mr. Howard. Okay, Mr. Howard, that's not his name, but we're just going to call him Mr. Howard. Great guy. in his early 60s, okay? He lost his wife approximately 8 months ago. They were married for 40 years. They were in love the first month they saw each other. They never dated anyone else. And they were together. They had kids. The kids moved away, and he's feeling lonely. And so I was talking to Mr. Howard, and I asked him straight up, have you ever gotten naked and drunk and just have it party up in Cancun, Mexico? And he goes, no. I go, why haven't you? You seem to have led a good, moral, righteous life. You deserve to have at least one moment of debauchery and fun. Okay? That's what I told him. Okay? Apparently, Mr. Howard did not have the money to go down to Cancun and decide to live La Vida Loca here in my local community and kind of got arrested for showing his freak flag off. All right. So to be fair, he was drunk. All right. But I don't know if that's going to help or hurt his case. But the good news is he's a first timer, so he's going to get off light. But still, they're blaming me for it. It's like, hey, I told him to go to Mexico. It worked for me a couple times down there. And don't ask how I know about that. Let's just say the vixen in her early age did some really interesting stuff south of the border. But needless to say, I'm being blamed for Mr. Howard's, how can we say this, momentary lapse of judgment. All right. The next one I want to talk to you about is a woman in her, let's say, mid-30s. And we're just going to call her Ashley. Ashley here, not her name, but she found out her husband was cheating on her with several other women. A couple from the work, come from, one of those shady websites or dating sites. It's cheap hookup. I won't mention what it is, but needless to say, you kind of get the drift. So, my advice to her is she's crying her heart out. What should I do? What should I do? I go, have you ever thought about sleeping with his best friend? And she goes, that's wrong. And I go, how? He opened the door. Hey, if it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. Have you ever thought about just taking his best friend and just hate banging the living shit out of him? And she goes, why would I do that? Because it's fun. Revenge sex is some of the best sex you'll ever have in your life. And again, don't ask how I know. A long story on that one. So apparently, here's what happened. She took my advice, found his best friend, seduced him, and had a great time having some revenge sex. Okay, that wasn't bad enough. They decided to keep hooking up, and one afternoon, Ashley's husband walks in on the two while she's screaming, I'm going to ride you to your... I'm going to not say what she said next, but needless to say, she was going to have a smile on her face by the time she was done, all right? And again, I get blamed because the two guys decided to have a fist fight bonanza out on the front lawn over this. And I guarantee you, there's mutual battery charges, and I don't understand why. I didn't tell her to hate bang him in the middle of the day to when her husband could possibly walk in. I didn't give her that advice. And the last one, and I gotta tell you, this one, there might be a little bit of a gray area, okay. There was this young high school girl, we'll just call her Molly. Molly's being picked on by a bunch of people, and I told her, look, here's what you need to do. Take some self-defense classes, all right? Number one, it will, raise your confidence. You'll have more confidence. You don't have to solve problems with violence, but, you'll have the ability to, find your confidence. It will teach you to work in a team atmosphere. I told her, in worst case scenario, you can use it to defend yourself if, they had tried to hurt you. That's what I told her, okay? What happened was, she took a couple courses, and then next thing you know, she decides to go gangsta style on these people. I had nothing to do with that, okay? But to be fair, she did a great job of curb stomping a few of them. They got what they deserve, but still, I'm being blamed by the diocese. And it's like, whoa, time out, Bishop. All I did was help these people through their time of, need, and apparently that's not the thing to say, because he yells at me saying, look, I need to find a more non-violent, let's say, criminal way of solving problems. I go, did they commit suicide? No. And at that point, he kind of blew up and threw me out of the office. All right, so let's review tonight's little life lessons. First of all, if you are someone who is in a bad, dark place, it's not a bad thing to reach out to friends or family or professional, medical, licensed professionals with degrees to help you through your moments of, depression or anxiety. There's nothing wrong with that. That's the first thing I want everyone to remember. The second one is, if you come to the Vixen asking for advice, please note that there should be an asterisk by it saying, this may be illegal in some states. And third, the advice I give technically was not illegal. I am innocent on this one. All I did was give some people some friendly advice, and they took it the wrong way, so I'm not seeing what the bishop's problem is. But anyways, my badass boys and badass babes, as you can see, I'm back in trouble with the diocese, as if that was something new. So, who's your Vixen, and bye-bye.